Hi everyone. So we have moved into the final lecture of the COIL class. Hope you all were enjoying the previous sections and we just have two more classes left. This is the second last class and you will have the final class where you will present the concepts that you have got in all these lectures together. So today's class I'll be taking on the topic the common misconceptions in life sciences. So I'm going to discuss about few things that you people might already know because you are science students. So in case of students of not science, there may be few things that they may not be familiar with. They might have a conception which is not true. So many of these things might be very clear in our minds. We might be knowing what is true and what is false. But your friends, people from your family, they might be having several misconceptions about different things that we are going to discuss in this class. So let's start the class. Don't consider this as a class. I'm just discussing few things which will be helpful for you in your future life as well. You'll be able to make others understand what is not correct and what is correct. Okay. You might be recognizing what this picture is. Any clue? Yes, definitely. This is of the theory of evolution. So I have heard many people saying, whenever there's a dispute or people are teasing others, they used to say, "Oh, you monkey, you don't have a brain. Come on, you gorilla, you chimp, you don't have a brain." At least in our area, people used to teach other. In our language, we used to say, "Eda koranga, ye, buddhi ille, koranga." We used to say this. But have you ever thought, is it actually true that man evolved from chimps, gorillas? Is that true? Actually, if we look at the facts, archaeological evidences, it's not true. It's told that chimps, gorillas, and humans, all three of them do have a common ancestor, which is titled as Nakali ape. There was a recent excavation from Kenya of a particular species which comes as an ancestor base of chimps, gorillas, and humans, which was titled as Nakali nakayamai. So this was a very new knowledge for me as well. Before I also used to think, from this figure, it's very evident that humans do have an ancestor as gorilla or chimp, but that is not true. So if anybody is coming to you and saying to you, okay, you look like a monkey because you evolved from a monkey, that is not true. Just correct them. No, 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 no. I didn't evolve from a monkey directly. I do have me and monkey, we both do have a common ancestor. It's not that I evolved from a monkey. Clear? Okay. The second misconception. Usually, whenever a newborn child is there, when we go to meet the child, visit the child, people used to say, the child look exactly like the father. The child look pakka like the mother. The nose is very ditto of the father. The ear is of the mother for sure. The gene of the eye has come from the mother, no doubt in that. The hair has completely taken up by the father. No others has a hold in it. People used to say this everywhere. I think all around the world, people used to say this. But there is a mistake. You know what? It's not that the complete gene of a factor comes directly from one parent itself. No. We might know this fact, but if somebody else is telling this to you, correct them. The two alleles works together for a gene to have its action complete. So whatever feature a newborn has, there should be two allele. One should be dominant and one should be recessive. One comes from the parent, from the father, one from the mother. So it's never that a full gene comes from one parent. It's always that 50 percentage from one parent and 50 from the other. So always be clear in this concept. Whenever you see somebody, when you make this comment, okay, the dominant allele of this gene comes from your parent, from your father, and that's why you this particular factor looks like your father. So always be clear on that. This is an area where there is lot of misconceptions happening these days. COVID-19 vaccine. COVID-19 vaccination has been approved by different health agencies around the world. There are different things, different disputes and concepts that are still under interrogation. So, one of the things that came suddenly to my mind was that COVID-19 vaccine actually caused miscarriages in pregnant women. It also caused any kind of defects in the fetus. So all these things has been overruled, and there is nothing like that. It's just a misconception. So COVID-19 vaccine is actually effective, and it gets rid of the coronavirus. So if anybody is telling you I'm pregnant, I don't want to take risk by taking the COVID-19 vaccine shot. No, correct them. There are research papers saying COVID-19 vaccine is absolutely safe to consume, even in the case of pregnancy. There is no problem, nothing will happen, no health risk to the mother or the fetus. Inside the womb, even when they come outside, there is no problem at all. So, correct that. Okay, this is some kind of a misconception that is very common in my place in Kerala. I don't know if it happens in your place. So in this slide, maybe I can first explain this concept in my language, in our language, which is titled as Malayalam. This may be very, this language might be very new for the foreign students, international students, but I think it will be good that you will get a chance to get here our language. So I'll first explain this concept in Malayalam, and then secondly, I'll come to you. Just try if you can understand something out of what I am saying in Malayalam. It will be interesting. ഓക്കെ സാധാരണ കേരളത്തിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ പറയുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്. പനിയൊക്കെ വന്നിരിക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും തൊട്ട് നോക്കിയിട്ട് അയ്യോ 101 ഡിഗ്രി പനിയാ, 101 ഡിഗ്രി പനിയാണെങ്കിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ കൊണ്ടു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 102 ഡിഗ്രി പനിയാ, അയ്യോ ആൾക്ക് ഫിറ്റ്സ് വരാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് വളരെ കൂടുതലാണ്, പെട്ടെന്ന് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ കൊണ്ടുപോകണം, പറയാറുണ്ട് അല്ലേ? പക്ഷെ നിങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴും ആലോചിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ? നമുക്കറിയാം വാട്ടറിന്റെ ബോയിലിംഗ് പോയിന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 100 ഡിഗ്രി സെൽഷ്യസ് ആണ്. ഈ 100 ഡിഗ്രി സെൽഷ്യസിലുള്ള വാട്ടർ നിങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും തൊട്ട് നോക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഈ വെള്ളം എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങളുടെ ദേഹത്ത് തെറിച്ചിട്ടെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ ഒരു തുള്ളി? എങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കും? അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങളുടെ ബോഡിയിൽ 100 ഡിഗ്രി സെൽഷ്യസ് പനിയാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് അത് അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? അപ്പൊ അവിടെയുള്ള ഒരു മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് എന്താണെന്നറിയോ? 100 ഡിഗ്രി സെൽഷ്യസ് അല്ല, 100 ഡിഗ്രി ഫാരൻഹീറ്റ് പനി എന്നാണ് പറയുക. 100 അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 102 ഫാരൻഹീറ്റ് പനി എന്നാണ് പറയുക. അതിൽ സത്യമുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അവിടെ നമ്മൾ ഈ ഡിഗ്രിയും ഫാരൻഹീറ്റും നമ്മൾ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും മാറിപ്പോയത്. ഇതിനെപ്പറ്റി കറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ബോധ്യമുള്ളവർ കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ചിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ സോ ഐ ഹോപ്പ് യു ഗോട്ട് ദി accent and the flow of how we talk in Malayalam. Now I can explain whatever I told in Malayalam in English. This is some kind of a misconception that we used to hear very commonly in Kerala, which says that whenever a person is having a fever, a high fever, we used to take a thermometer, measure the temperature of the body, and I have heard people saying, "Oh my God, this guy is having 102 degrees Celsius fever. Oh my God, this guy is having 104 degree fever. We have to take him to the hospital immediately, or else he will get a seizure. Come on, we should be quick." And I used to think, oh my God, 102 degrees Celsius fever? What blunder he is saying? You know what? They might be meaning to say Fahrenheit, but in their mouth, it automatically comes as Celsius. That's the difference. So we have to remember one thing. Have you ever noticed what is the boiling point of water? Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So there might have been incidents where one drop of boiling water have a contact with your skin. It will be burning like hell. You will burn your skin. In that case, if you are having 102 degrees Celsius fever, oh my God, the man will be dead immediately. That is not even imaginable. So whatever the point that I would like to make is, it's not Celsius, but it is Fahrenheit. There is difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit, and there is a conversion. So always be careful. Celsius will be always lower in number. Fahrenheit will be, I think it's plus 70 or 75. I'm not sure. I'll clarify in the class, but there is a difference. So always be clear about this conversion. Okay. Asexual and sexual reproduction. This is something that we always learn in biology classes. Even from our smaller classes, we used to learn about asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction. Okay, so when I ask a student outside from science, they used to think, oh, sexual reproduction is common in animals. It's for animals, and asexual is common in plants. Is that true? No. Sexual reproduction is not only limited to animals, but plants also undergo sexual reproduction. And there is another misconception that asexual reproduction just happens either by binary fission or by budding. Oh my god, this is not true. Maybe the people who say this statement does not know what exactly happens in the biological world. Asexual reproduction is not simply the simple, very simple process of binary fission or budding, but includes several other highly complicated mechanisms as well. Another thing, I have heard people saying respiration and breathing in the same context. They used to think both are the same. Breathing and respiration. Is that same? It's not the same. Breathing is simply the air that you take up through your nose, it goes to your lungs, it comes back. What you take inside is oxygen, goes out as carbon dioxide. This is simply breathing. It just have to involve your nose and your lungs and the associated organs with it, which helps in your breathing process. What about respiration? Respiration process is complete only when it goes down to the level of a cellular respiration. And what do you mean by that? The cells do convert glucose to the energy molecule, which is ATP, adenosine. What was adenosine triphosphate? Sorry. Okay. So when this process is happening, glucose conversion to ATP, that process is termed as respiration. And it's not just the breathing in of oxygen and breathing out of carbon dioxide. Sharks. Sharks is not a major issue here in Kerala because നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെ നാട്ടിലൊക്കെ കുളിക്കാൻ പോകുമ്പോൾ ബീച്ചിലൊക്കെ കുളിക്കാൻ പോകുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഷാർക്കിനെ പേടിച്ച് ഒരിക്കലും ഇരിക്കാറില്ല അല്ലേ? പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ പുറത്ത് വിദേശത്തൊക്കെ പോയി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ സംഭവിക്കാറുണ്ട്. Did you understand what I was saying? I was simply saying that in Kerala, whenever we go to take a swim in the beach, we are never scared of shark because it's not very common here that we never hear a news that a shark attacks a person who takes a swim in the beach. But I think it's very common there in US and US related countries because I've heard that many people have got injuries based on shark attacks. And there is a common misconception about the shark's smelling sense that sharks can detect a drop of blood even from many miles away. But that's a common misconception, you know. Even in movies, in Hollywood movies, we could see shark related movies. When a person gets injured, one drop of blood falls onto the water, the sharks rushes and come in to get that person. That's not true. It's not true because the water in the ocean is not still. There is a thing that sharks can detect about 1 part of blood per 10 billion parts of water. That's true. If it's still water, if there are very less amount of diversity of molecules present in that water, this concept is true. But ocean is never like that. Ocean has tremendous amount of diverse amount of molecules present in them, and also the water current is not stable, it always moves, it's completely turbulent all the time, it's never the constant thing. So a drop of blood that falls onto water will just get mixed up and it is scattered all around. The shark won't be able to detect that unless there is a sufficient amount of blood. So that's simply a misconception. Large intestine and small intestine. Which one is large and which one is small? I always used to get this thing wrong because in my childhood I used to think that small intestine is small and large intestine is large. That is not true. It's just the opposite. Small intestine is the large one and large intestine is the small one. You can see it in the figure very clearly. So be clear about it. And dogs and cats. We used to think that dogs and cats are colorblind. Is it true? No. Both of them can see the color green and blue. In case of cats, they see purple color as blue and red and pink as different shades of green. This is because they do have corn cells. They have less number of corn cells. We know that our eyes have two types of cells which give us the vision. Corn cells which give us a color vision, and rod cells which help us to have night vision or dark vision. So they do have very less number of corn cells when compared to humans and other animals, and that's the reason why they can see very less number of colors, especially green and blue. But they do have more amount of rod cells, and that's the reason why they can see very clearly at night. They do have a very crisp night vision. And this is the reason why dogs and cats can move easily at night at dark. So I hope these things that we have discussed in this lecture was interesting, and you could also hear what Malayalam language is like. And I hope you all uh, enjoyed my lecture. Hope to see you all in the next COIL class. Bye.